Be a stranger. That is the title of the hadith, narrated by Ibn Umar. He says, be in this world as though you were a stranger or a traveler or a wayfarer. Ibn Umar used to say, when evening comes, do not expect to live till morning, and when morning comes, do not expect to live until evening. Take from your health for, for your illness, and from your life for your death. Then Surah Anam, ayah number 32, iska direct link hai. It says, and the worldly life is not but amusement and diversion, but the home of hereafter is best for those who fear Allah. Will you not then reason? Right? So we have to really sit and ponder on this statement made by Ibn Umar. Yes, आज के दिन overnight change karna is not practical. We are human beings. We are in this world with to make multiple mistakes. But the first step that we have to take as Muslims is to understand so we can implement this slowly into our lives. Right? So the whole point starts off with this. हमारा concept ये है, हम इस दुनिया में आए हैं as a stranger. We are here only for a limited time. At the end, we go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is our eternal goal. So do not do something here which you will regret back in the down on the day of judgment. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala आपको clearly बोल दिया कि ये दुनिया is a test for you. And I have given you a lot of and shaitan has given, there's a lot of desires and fancies in this world which you will be directly indulged into. So do not indulge in those things. There's a shaitan. Everyone in this world has a shaitan who follows them, who keeps telling them, hey, listen, karle, no problem, do it. But we have to understand that it is the shaitan's will, and we have to keep coming back to this notion that we are here. We do not know if we are going to be alive tomorrow or even this evening, right? So our focus should be our final destination, the hereafter, right? That should be our main focus. There's an example that I really liked about this point. जहाँ पे ये बोल रहे हैं कि let's say you are, हम लोग टोरंटो में हैं, we are right now in Toronto. We are given a 3-week business trip or a vacation to, let's say, Montreal, and we go to a hotel there. And now when you go to a hotel there and you find the room not as suited to you, do you actually renovate the room to fit your needs, or you just wait because it's temporary, so you don't really care, right? That is the same mentality that we need to have in this world. कि ये दुनिया is temporary. हमारा end goal is आखिरत, right? And we have to focus on that matter. दुनिया में compete करने से कोई फायदा नहीं. Do not compete in the worldly matters. Compete in the matters that will lead you to the hereafter and will give you paradise. The ultimate goal is paradise, right? Just as a wayfarer does not require more than what he needs to reach his destination, the same way a believer does not require more than what he needs to attain paradise, right? Now, हमारा focus should not just be when we start off being a Muslim, हमारे इनमें ingrained है, नमाज पढ़ लो, कुरान पढ़ लो, रोजे रख लो, you have become a good Muslim. But that is where it only begins. That's basically your starting point of being a Musliman, right? Now you have to first attain that goal, is where you are able to pray 5 times a day, you're able to complete all the fasts, you're able to read the Quran. But that's where the beginning starts. The next step is we have to spend time in learning. We have to spend time in understanding, what Islam is all about. It's time for us to understand what we need to do to be a better Muslim. It's time for us we have to focus that we have to understand that आज हम लोग हटे, we are healthy, we are able to, we have the mind to understand, we have the mind to adapt, to learn and take things in. So it's time for us to understand, read, understand, implement, right? And all this is for us to do is to enter the enter the ultimate goal, which is the hereafter, right? Do not be heedless, do not be ignorant of what you're doing, right? We have to be cognizant of what we are doing, we have to be aware हम क्या कर रहे हैं दुनिया में, हम किस मकसद से दुनिया में आए हैं. हम लोग इस मकसद से दुनिया में आए हैं कि we are here to make our deeds, our good deeds, more than our bad deeds, ताकि we are able to attain Jannah, and ask Allah for forgiveness, ताकि we are forgiven on the day of judgment, right? We have to be steadfast in prayers, in in major objectives that we want to do. अगर हमारी लाइफ में हम प्लान कर रहे हैं कि भाई, यू नो व्हाट, वी विल डू दिस, एज इन ऑब्जेक्ट, लाइक एग्जांपल हज कर रहे हैं, उम्रा है, these objectives, we should do them as soon as possible, not delay them कि भाई, you know what, हम बुढ़े हुए करेंगे, let's finish our obligations first. नहीं, are steadfast, be steadfast in completing your major objectives of Islam, right? And one thing very important, जो आजकल के ज़माने में actually we have all lost, maintain relations, right? We have become so focused in our own nuclear family that we have forgotten that we also have extended family that we have to we have to attend to, right? We have to maintain our relations with everyone, not just our bे बच्चे. No, we have to, what today आज क्या है, माँ बाप भाई बच्चे, that's it. No, there is more to that. There's a lot of relations जो हमारे जो बड़े थे have done all their life. They used to make sure that they meet everyone, they used to take time out to go and meet people, they maintained the relations, which today's generation actually is lacking. We have become so focused in our drive to success that we have forgotten the true meaning of what we are here for, right? So the whole point of us to understand this hadith, to study these things, is to be able to take a step back and focus on these goals, ताकि we can slowly adapt them into our lives, right? Now the main question comes, if Allah is saying, if Allah is saying, be a stranger, then what's the point of working hard, what's the point of doing all this, right? Now there's a 4-step or a 5-step process that you have to adapt in our lives. Now this is for both the man and the woman, right? So we have to balance our life in 4 areas. Number 1 is fulfilling our family needs, right? वो क्या है? We have to be able to go as men, we have to be able to go out, earn for our family, right? Enough so they're able to live comfortably, right? The word comfort is a very open term, right? Do not increase your khahishat to a point where that becomes a comfort, right? Again, you're diverging into the worldly affairs, right? And again, we are all guilty of that. We all are guilty of that. We diverge ourselves into the worldly desire so much that our expenses start to increase. That puts the pressure on us, so we start working more hard, right? So पहला step ये है कि fulfill your family needs enough कि your family is comfortable in what they are doing. As in, you have your wife, your children, they're comfortable in what they have, right? Then second part, for the woman, she has to spend time raising the children. The children raising is a very important part for a woman. She has to be able to give time for the woman, for the children to be raised. Man only guides. The woman actually is the one who has to lead and follow through, right? इसलिए माँ के पैरों के नीचे जन्नत क्यों बोलते हैं? Because the माँ has the one who is the one who actually leads, who actually makes sure all this actually is done. So mother has a much bigger role in getting the kids raised in a good manner, but father has to guide, has to implement the rules into the family. That means he himself has to first correct himself, right? As I said, again I come back to सूर्य नूर, जहाँ पे सूर्य नूर में अल्लाह बयान किया है आपको कि पहले अपने आप को ठीक करो, fix yourself first, then your family, then you go out, right? So I come back to the first step again. Pehla step, fulfilling your family needs, your work as a woman, you're raising your kids, making sure the house is taken care of, right? Then spend time with your family, treating family with kindness, right? One of the things that we are all guilty of, हम बाहर लोगों से अच्छा बात करते, फैमिली के साथ शुरू की बात करते. We had a bad day at work, we come and show the anger on the kids or the wife. We had a tough day at work, we हमारा गुस्सा बच्चों में निकलता, right? We have to understand that the children also need our time, right? So treat children with kindness, right? Treat them with kindness, treat a family with kindness, spend time with them, right? That's part two. Then learning and practicing Islam as a person, as a whole. अगर आप दिन में you wake up at 6 in the morning, you have to give time not just to your work, not just to your family, but also learning Islam. You have, that is an obligation on us. वो हमारे पे एक ऑब्लिगेशन है कि हम टाइम निकालें अल्लाह के लिए, टू डू अल्लाह द लर्निंग ऑफ इस्लाम, टू डू इबादत, not just namaz. That is, again I've told you starting में, namaz is an is just the initial foundation. We have to build the akhlaq, जो बोलते हैं akhlaq is what we have to build in ourselves. Okay, that's where it starts off. The foundation आपका namaz is Quran, is the foundation, right? We have to start building our the pillars, the first floor, second floor, third floor, right? So basically ये है कि हम we have to learn. So we have, because only if you learn, you're able to teach your children, right? It is obligated on every father, okay? And I'm telling you with, and I can give you guys clear proofs on this and authentic thing ke, fathers are obligated to teach their children Islam. They have to spend time with children on a daily basis. स्पेशली आज की दुनिया में जो इतने फितनाएं हैं जो हमारे पास दुनिया में, द फोन्स, द टीवी, द आउटसाइड, द स्कूल्स, we have to dedicate at least X amount of time a day in teaching our children in Deen. But only way we can teach them is when we ourselves learn it, right? तो हमारा point यह है कि we have to first dedicate ourselves to work that is enough to sustain the family, then learn and teach our family Islam. It is and then spend time with them. Give them X amount of times a day. Play with them. Play with your wife, your kids, your children. Spend time. Even in our Prophet's life, he was the most busiest person in his life, but he still gave time to his Nawasa Nawasi. He still gave time to his wife. He would raise them. He would raise Aisha Raziallahu anha, and uska narrations hai, right? He would raise her to see who wins, right? So again, even he did. So his life is what we have to follow, right? So the four areas, पहला ये है the role of the family, right? The family का roles. So ये है, we have to fulfill our obligations towards them, then treat them with kindness, learn Islam and practice Islam so our family can understand that, and then spend time in games which are, or activities which are halal, to take them out for dinner, take them out for kushkaro, spend time, teach them Islam. Teach them, they have to learn Islam, not for them not to fear Allah, but to love Allah and fear Allah out of love, right? Then you have dedicate. Then the second piece is family. Oh, second ho gaya. Second hai ibadah. As an individual, be it a woman or a man, we have to dedicate time for Allah. We have to. That is an obligation on us. Okay, we have to learn time. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we are questioned on the day of Qiyamah, when Allah says, I give you so much time. What do you do? We will be questioned on the free time that we had been given, right? So we have to answer for that. But what do you do? I was too busy playing or doing things for myself. No, you have to do ibadah of Allah. इबादत ऑफ अल्लाह क्या होता? नॉट जस्ट इस कुरान पढ़ो, आप इस्लाम को समझो, अंडरस्टैंड इस्लाम, बिकॉज यू नीड दिस पीस टू बी एबल टू टीच योर किड्स. अगर आप खुद इबादत नहीं कर रहे, अगर आप खुद लर्न नहीं कर रहे, हाउ विल यू टीच योर किड्स, राइट? यस, दिस इज अ वेरी चैलेंजिंग point in today's day and age, right? We are all guilty of not being able to do this, right? But the first step, as I always say, is to understand where we are today, right? Then only we can take a step forward in doing it step by step, right? So pehla hai aapke as a family, second is ibadah, Allah's worship, right? The third comes is self care and self growth, right? Allah has not just told you just simply मेरी इबादत करो, वो करो. Allah has told you to take care of yourself as well. It because only if you take care of yourself, you will be able to take care of your family and their needs, right? Self care, right? If that means you want to sit and just relax a bit, you want to listen, you read a book, you want to go to the gym and work out, you want to play a game, you want to go and play some sports, that is your self care. And we as people, as men, and there's not only, by the way, मैं जो बातें बोल रहा हूँ doesn't just go to men, it goes to both mothers and fathers and grandparents and all the everybody, right? Even the students that are जो है हमारे जो बच्चे जो are growing up, who have come to an adulthood, even it goes to them as well, right? So self care and self growth, right? Then the fourth piece जो is responsibilities outside the family, that is the community and other people of a family, right? It is again, मैं अब बोल रहा हूँ, it is obligated, हमारे पे obligation है ये. Allah has not said optional है, नहीं. It is obligated that a Musliman gives time to his community, right? That means going and visiting the sick, going and meeting your relatives, giving them time, enjoying doing gatherings ताकि you are able to meet them, taking your kids out to a masjid, getting them spending time volunteering for a masjid, volunteering for a community event, or doing something like doing कुछ भी करो that involves the community, right? So ये four चीजें हैं which we as people have to incorporate into our lives to be able to be a good Muslim, right? Again, all these 4 points मैं जो बोला हूँ आपको is balance roles as towards the family, ibadah, self-care, and responsibilities outside the family are basically, you can put together this could become your little your goal as you go forward, right? And all of this basically comes down to the hadith that says you're a stranger in this world, right? So हमारा goal ये है to be able to not just focus on growing ourselves financially, because that's what, and we're all guilty of that. We do 2 jobs, we do 3 jobs, ताकि we are able to give the best of this world. And to us, best is being able to take the kids out for vacations, उन लोगों को take them for dinners, buy them big things. That is where our life actually, that's what we always tend to do, right? But the true मुसलमान वो है जो बच्चों में इस्लाम की चाहत, इस्लाम की मोहब्बत और इस्लाम का और तकवा at an early age in life ला सका. Because again, we do not know when we will die. So it is our goal to make sure that before we depart from this world, we give enough knowledge, enough blessing, or enough power, enough ability to for our kids and the left ones to be able to pray for us. Because आप बनने के बाद आपका सिर्फ दुआएं आपसे बच्चे करेंगे, right? उस वक्त पे you are no longer doing any sins. You're only being forgiven for what you have done, right? That can only happen if you have kids who are on the right path of Allah, right? Who are able to understand what Islam is all about. Okay, so ये hadith है. I will take a couple of minute break ताकि we all kind of understand this point. uh, I'll open it for a few minutes if somebody wants to add a few things to this, because this is pretty open discussion here. uh, and then we'll go to the next one.